My name's Chief Eric Van Hook. I'm with the O'Fallon Police Department. This morning at about 7:23 a.m., our telecommunications center received a phone call that there was a vehicle on fire and a person on fire outside of the vehicle. Fire and police personnel responded immediately. They were on scene within 2 minutes of the time of dispatch. Upon arrival, they discovered a black female was on fire and immediately rendered aid, but were unsuccessful in reviving her, and she did pass away at the scene. This case is being treated as a homicide. We are looking for someone. We have a person of interest. However, due to the safety of my officers and responding officers that are helping us, I'm not going to release his information at this point. But as soon as I can, I will definitely get it out in an electronic photo of that person. So as we do in the past, we value the media and we value the assistance they are able to provide us and push that information out for us. We're working with the victim's family right now, and we're attempting to make sure that all family are notified before we release any of her information. We are asking that if anyone was in the area, that's a well-traveled area, if you were there this morning, if you saw the incident, saw anybody on foot in that area, possibly fleeing from that area, we ask that you contact the O'Fallon Police Department. The investigation is being run by Lieutenant Kerry Andrews. Lieutenant Andrews can be contacted at 618-624-9589. At this point, I know there's a lot of information you guys are probably still looking to receive, but as I said, as soon as I can, I will definitely get you guys all of the victim information, the person of interest that we're trying to look for, as well as a photo. And we can send that electronically to you through our press release.
Where exactly did this happen?
If you're familiar with O'Fallon, it would be near the closest intersection for us would be West Madison and O'Berney-Fermin Road, right on the outskirts of our sports park.
Can you tell us how old the victim was?
We're still trying to identify her exact date of birth. We have that, as I said, but I will say that I don't want to speculate. Right now, her information is part of the crime scene, and I haven't had a chance to view that information. So,
Can you say where she's from, Chief? Is she from O'Fallon?
she is a local. She is a local resident of O'Fallon.
What led you to your person of interest? Why do you believe that this person could be responsible? Why do you want to question this person?
Based on statements that were made from witnesses who were at the scene, and that led us through some good investigation as well with information that was recovered at the scene. We were able to come up with a good identity, and as I said, the victim's family and other family members have been cooperating with us, trying to help us and aid the investigation. We also did have a couple bystanders that stopped to render aid to her. I don't have their names right now, but I would like to stop them. It was a very heroic act, definitely not something that people are accustomed to seeing. So there's a lot of good Samaritans, a lot of good people out there. So we do have their information. I just haven't had a chance to talk to them. They were providing witness statements at the time.
Chief, can you say whether the person that you're looking for has a past criminal history?
I'd rather not at this point. I know you're going to ask me the same question in about 5 different ways. You have to understand that this is a very fluid investigation, and I really appreciate the help that the media can render for us, but at the same time, my number one priority is making sure my officers and the officers assisting us are safe, and for me to release any of the suspect information now could potentially put them in harm's way, and I'm just not going to do that.
Can you tell us anything about what you believe led up to this or may have led up to this?
It would be pure speculation. Those are usually things that we will find out through the course of our investigation. What I really wanted to do is just make sure that as quickly as possible I could get some information out to you guys, because I know you've been very respectful about it. You've been respectful of the border that we have up at the crime scene. So as we always do, we try and get a press release out in the first 3 hours, even if it's just to confirm the basic information that we have at this time. But I will promise you this, as soon as we can release additional information, we will do that.
Are you able to find any sort of evidence in or around the car?
Still all too early. It's like I said, this is still a very active and fluid investigation. You know, we're only about 3.5 hours into it. So.
Do you know how long that road will be blocked off for?
We're anticipating that it will be opened up hopefully within the next hour, maybe hour and a half, could be sooner. As I said, they're still processing the crime scene.
I'm not too familiar with that area. Is it like a residential street this happened on, or just?
It's if you can picture it this way, if you were heading north on the west side is a very large sports park, and on the right is a residential neighborhood.
Do either the victim or the suspect have any ties to O'Fallon itself?
The victim is an O'Fallon resident.
And are they known to each other? There's not some crazy man out
Still, at this point, we believe they were known to each other, and we're still trying to confirm that as well.
And then ISP put out an alert for a vehicle possibly heading to Alabama or Mississippi. That is connected with this investigation?
It is connected with it, but again, that's part of the information that's out for law enforcement, and I want to protect that part for my officer's safety because, as I said, they are currently working this, and we're working with neighboring agencies, and I don't want to release any information that could essentially put them in harm's way.
Is it domestic, Chief?
Not going to answer that. Part of it is, Carolyn, I just don't know. I don't know. These are all things that we hope our investigation will flesh out eventually, and we're fortunate to have our neighboring communities. They very willfully sent us manpower to help us in our investigation, so we are currently interviewing witnesses, family members, anybody that we can to try and put those pieces together. But as I said, it's just way too early in the investigation. My job right now is to make sure that you guys have the information. That way, when we do turn to you with a photo or suspect information, as I said, we value the reach that you guys have to help us track the person down.
Should we want to let you be concerned about this person of interest and the dangers?
I would say that you should always, when we have a case like this, as far as to the level of concern, we've checked the area very thoroughly. But anytime we have a situation like this, if they see somebody that they're not familiar with, especially in that area, they should reach out and contact us. Like I said, my goal is to be able to get you guys that information with a bit of the background of the person we're looking for, hopefully within the next couple hours, if not sooner.
What other police departments are working with you?
I'm not going to, that ties in. I will tell you, Fairview Heights and ILEAS, Mobile Task Force, has been activated, and they've been helping us. But again, if I tell the departments, it could give away some of the location areas we're looking at right now.
Anything else, Chief, that you're going to share, or are you going to tell me no from here on?
Well, I never tell you no. It's just, as I said, and you know me well enough, we respect the reach of the media, so we want to get it out. We want our residents to be aware of what we're working. But at the same time, you have to understand that there's certain pieces of information, and you do. You understand that we just can't release it. I know you want to know and your readers want to know, but at the same time, I have a responsibility to my officers in our community first to make sure we do everything that we can to make sure that, A, we can keep our officers safe, we locate this person, and we have a very strong case that can be prosecuted at some point.
Can you touch a little bit just on the mindset of your officer? Obviously, O'Fallon doesn't deal with a lot of homicides, and this one seems particularly grisly. How are they holding up through all of this?
At this point, and again, it's not just the officers. We had our fire chief and deputy chief were on scene very quickly. We had EMS personnel. You're right. These are very horrible cases to work. We have concerns for the three people that stopped to render aid. A lot of times, we are able to process these situations a lot easier. The people that stop to render aid, as I said, are just amazing, good Samaritans, but, we want to reach out to them at some point, too, to let them know some of the warning signs to look for if they might be suffering from some type of the images that they saw this morning. Our officers, while they do not, we're blessed that we don't have high homicide rate here in O'Fallon, have very low violent crime rate in O'Fallon, but we are extremely active in the major case squad of Greater St. Louis, fulfill many leadership roles with them. So it's not uncommon for my detectives that are out there. Collectively, we probably have about 40 homicide investigations that we've worked in other communities throughout our careers. So we have very trained, skilled detectives on this, and I'm confident we'll have a successful conclusion here hopefully soon.